She said it loud enough for the surrounding tables to hear. Her laugh rang like cheap glass. "Poor you, still working at that tiny firm," she sneered, eyes glittering under the chandelier. Beside her, her new husband, tailored suit, perfect hair, smiled politely, oblivious. I didn't answer her, I just let the corner of my mouth curl. Minutes later, I was leaning against the bar when I felt a shadow fall over me. "Sir, I didn't know you'd be here." His voice was respectful, nervous. "Why not?" I asked, and I smiled. That's when she saw us talking. That's when her face drained of color. We had once been inseparable, college sweethearts. I believed in her more than I believed in myself. I built my career while she chased dreams, and I made sure she never worried about rent, bills, or groceries. We used to talk about the future, our home, kids, growing old together. Until I found the hotel receipt. Not tucked away, not hidden, just sitting on her vanity table like a trophy. My name on the card statement, her signature on the check-in form, and a man's name, his, on the guest line. At first, I didn't move, I didn't breathe. My fingers just hovered over that slip of paper, the world tilting. I didn't confront her, not that night, not ever, not directly. I learned something in that moment. Rage is loud, but revenge is patient. I spent weeks watching, quietly. She grew careless, thinking I was too busy with work to notice. She didn't know I had cameras in the apartment. She didn't know I'd pulled her phone records. I documented everything, dates, places, gifts he bought her, lies she told me. And then I walked away. No fight, no begging, just a clean break. She got the apartment. She got the car. She got the narrative that I was cold and never around. I got something better, leverage. In the months that followed, I built my own firm. Not tiny, lean, agile, specialized. The kind of firm that takes on high-profile corporate cases and wins. Guess whose company I targeted first? His. Not directly, of course. I made sure it was a proxy deal. Another firm fronted the bid. I handled the details in the shadows, taking apart his company piece by piece. Subtle lawsuits, supply chain chokeholds, contracts rerouted to competitors. By the time he realized his empire had termites, he was desperate. Desperate enough to accept a lifeline investment from a discreet but powerful firm. Mine. The terms? Ironclad. The kind that let me call in debts at will. Fast forward to their wedding day. A lavish, ostentatious display in a ballroom dripping with gold and crystal. She wore the smile of someone who thought she'd traded up in life. She saw me when I walked in. She tried to mask the flicker of surprise, but her eyes darted to him, then back to me. I could tell she'd rehearsed her little line, the pitying smirk, the jab at my tiny firm. She thought this was my wound, my insecurity. Poor woman, she still didn't know she was standing on a trapdoor. When her husband approached me at the bar, he was cautious, respectful. I'd never met him face to face before, but he knew exactly who I was, and more importantly, he knew what I controlled. "I didn't know you'd be here," he said. "Why not?" I smiled. He tried to cover his discomfort, glancing toward her. She was across the room, watching like a hawk, fingers tight around her champagne flute. I didn't ruin their wedding day outright. No, that would have been cheap, predictable. Instead, I waited until the toasts were done, until the music swelled and they had their first dance. That's when my assistant handed him a small envelope, discreet, unmarked. Inside, a notice of debt acceleration. My firm was calling in every cent of the millions his company owed us, effective immediately. And a list of contracts already reassigned to his competitors. It was all legal, it was all airtight, and it was all going to hit him within hours. I watched the color drain from his face. He whispered something to her, urgent. She frowned, then glanced at me. Recognition hit her like a slap. That pale, frozen look, the one I'd waited for. The one I'd earned. They left the dance floor early. He was on the phone before they reached the exit. She followed, her dress dragging across the marble, all elegance gone. The guests whispered. The music faltered. The night began to unravel. I stayed, drank my whiskey slowly, watched the ripples spread. By morning, his accounts would be frozen, his board in open revolt, his assets under fire. By the end of the week, she'd be right back where she started. Except now, she'd burned the only man who ever would have caught her when she fell. People think revenge is about anger. It's not. Anger is a match, bright, brief, and dangerous to hold. Revenge is architecture. You build it brick by brick until the structure stands on its own. I walked out of that ballroom into the cool night air, the city lights flickering like embers. I didn't look back. She'd remember that smile forever.